And so now we're going to talk a little bit about responsibilities and expectations for your supervisors, as well as the hiring process, so that you understand what those pieces look like to get you onboarded and part of the team that you're participating with. So your supervisors are expected to mentor and guide their student employees throughout the responsibilities and tasks that they're assigning. We expect them to administer and communicate Front Range Community College and work study policies because they're going to have a much more captive experience with you than anybody on the outside is going to be able to reach you. We expect them to convey office expectations such as daily tasks and dress code so that you know what the expectations are moving forward and whether or not you're meeting those expectations. We expect them to communicate between the financial aid office and the student employee, again, because there may be one supervisor for every 10 students and there's one person administering the program, so it's going to be a little bit easier to funnel it down that way. We expect them to track each student's work study earnings throughout the semester so that they can make sure their students are on track with either underspending or overspending so that we can make sure that we're trending appropriately. We expect them to interview, hire, and terminate students as needed. So that's probably how you ended up wherever you are and participating in the program now. We expect them to train their student employees on office procedures, responsibilities, and daily tasks because we want to make sure that you know what's expected of you and that you're receiving adequate training to perform those tasks that they're asking of you. We expect them to perform performance reviews each semester so that just because you're not necessarily in the classroom, we believe that the learning doesn't necessarily stop, and we want to make sure that you're getting those feedback loops so you can make sure that you're correcting anything that needs to be corrected and you know where you are doing really well. And finally, we expect them to certify and approve hours worked for each student so that you can get paid for the hard work that you've put in. So when they're going through and they're deciding who they're going to hire, this form is a little bit difficult to read, and it's not something you need to worry about as a student, but if you hear your supervisor talking about what's called an online hiring form, that's what this is. Essentially, this is their request to the financial aid office to say, yes, we'd like to hire Jane Doe into our position, and this will be the trigger for the financial aid office to review the student's eligibility to make sure that you're meeting all those eligibility requirements that we talked about a little bit ago, and then start the onboarding and background check process with human resources that we'll talk about here in a few minutes so that you can kind of understand what all of those pieces look like.